Hi, numerologist community, and welcome back to another episode of the full and new moon series that I do with the wonderful Kelly Fox. Hey, Kelly, how are you?
Hi, Rose. Good, thank you.
That's good. Now, today we're going to be talking about the full moon in Aquarius. It's the second full moon in Aquarius that we've seen in a matter of weeks, which is amazing. So tell us, what does this one have in store for us? Is it any different from the one we just saw, or will things change for us this time?
Yes, it's incredible. It's a rare event to have two full moons in the same sign in a calendar year, because normally we just have one full moon in a month per calendar year. So we know, next year we'll have another full moon in Aquarius the following year and so on. So this is just absolutely amazing that we've got two full moons in Aquarius. And so the first one was back in July, on July 23rd, and it was at 1 degree Aquarius. This full moon will be in the final degree of Aquarius, the 29th degree, the anaretic degree, which is very much about completion and wrapping things up. But it's sort of like this karmic. The 29th degree is very much about karma. So what that means is we have to complete something, otherwise it comes back again much bigger. So it's like an opportunity to resolve something, and the something being anything to do with Aquarius, which is humanitarianism. It's about philanthropy and thinking about humankind and knowing that we really need to be thinking about the collective consciousness and where we fit in the scheme of things, and not allowing our ego to get in the way, because the shadow side of Aquarius is ego. So the shadow side of Aquarius is very much about only thinking of ourselves and not thinking of everyone else. So that's what's being called upon us right now, because July and August of 2021 has so many very strong Aquarian themes. We've got this second full moon in Aquarius at the final degree, the fated karmic degree of Aquarius. We had the first full moon in July. Towards the end of July, we had Jupiter retrograding back into Aquarius. And then, of course, we've got Saturn, planet of karma, in Aquarius. So if you can start to see like these themes now of karma and the collective consciousness, and, thinking about others and, humankind rather than just our own egos. Now, this full moon is also conjunct Jupiter, and Jupiter is a planet of excess. So full moons are always dramatic anyway. They're intense and dramatic, and they illuminate, or they show us something that hasn't been shown to us before. And so this full moon coming together with Jupiter, planet of excess, means that be careful that we don't exaggerate or overdo something or push something too far. Sometimes Aquarius, even though Aquarius is the genius of the zodiac, the brilliant thinker, the sign that thinks outside the box and thinks in new and different ways. It's very much about, can be quite radical, or too radical in some ways. So we've got to be really careful that we're not overstepping or being too radical, or just putting ourselves out there and being different just for the sake of it, or taking things to the extreme is what we need to be very careful about, regardless of what sign we are, with this Aquarius full moon in Aquarius energy, especially because, as I'm saying, it's like at the very end of the cycle. So there's not a, in some ways it's like there's a lot riding on this full moon, because it's like we're starting to wind things down. And then with Jupiter now retrograde in Aquarius all the way through October, it's like we've got to revisit something that was done from the past. And if we look back to 2009 to 2010, the last time Jupiter was in Aquarius, because remember, Jupiter's wrapped up in this full moon, I should say. We've got to look back to that cycle, the previous cycle, to see how we can bring it into the present. And, you know, we've got this opportunity right now with all this Aquarian energy and these 2 full moons in Aquarius to get something right. You know, we're given a chance now to redo something from back in 2009, 2010, and redo it so we can move forward into the future. Because at the end of this year, you know, Jupiter will be moving into Pisces again. So we've had a glimpse of it from May through July of this year, of Jupiter in Pisces, which again is very much about humanitarianism, but from a heart point of view. Whereas right now with all this Aquarian energy, it's very much from a logical point of view with no emotion involved. So we're getting there because, you know, we're moving into the age of Aquarius, which comes about officially in March 2023. So with all this Aquarian energy, this full moon in Aquarius, it's like bringing us opportunity and insight into 2023, when we will officially be in the age of Aquarius. So it's like, you know, last year was something of it was in its own sort of categorization, you know, 2020. And then this year and next year, you know, we're crossing the threshold and getting ready, you know, for the age of Aquarius, where we really will be thinking about, you know, our fellow humans, and we really will be thinking of, you know, the decisions we make and how it's affecting other people and not just ourselves or those that we're closest to. So we're getting a taste of it now, July and August, to really sort of step up and evolve the planet together. It's like, let's link arms here with this Aquarian energy and see how we can really make things better and different as we move into sort of more of a peer-to-peer world, rather than, you know, we're all out for ourselves, dog eat dog type of thing.
So it feels like there's so much sort of riding on this full moon, and it feels like there's a bit of pressure to perform here. We've talked about humanity and the collective consciousness, and those feel like massive themes and massive things. And I know a lot of people will be thinking, well, I'm just one person. Is there small steps we can take to sort of help us achieve this sort of goal of helping humanity?
Absolutely. And even these tiny baby steps where, you know, like the theme is renew, reuse, recycle. That is very Aquarian. You know, it's sort of like, well, if, you know, if I've got my foods, for want of a better example, Rose, but it's like, if I've got my household food scraps and I'm just throwing them straight into the trash, how about I put them in the green bin? Or how about I, you know, make a difference and put them in this biodegradable bag and put them in the green bin? And I mean, I know that sounds sort of cliche, and what difference will one banana peel make? But it's like, there's 7 billion people on the planet. If we all each had a banana peel, you know, like let's put it somewhere where we can reuse, renew, or recycle it, or, you know, whatever. That's just an example. So it's like every little bit counts, and that's what the theme is going to be. And that's what we're starting to realize now with, you know, of course, what's going on out there in the world at this time in history. So it's like, we've got to link arms and realize that we are all in this together. As cliche as it sounds, as eye-rolling as that sounds, you know, like, okay, you know, whatever. But it's like, no, it really does. Every little bit counts. Every bit will make a difference.
I think it's really funny that it's such a rare event to have full moons in the same sign in one year, but it definitely seems like this is the one that we really need right now.
Yes, absolutely. Yes, we do.
Awesome. All right, Kelly, thank you so much for joining us. I'm really inspired by this one, and I'm excited to see what it brings. And we'll see you again for the next one.
Thanks, Rose. See you then.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you so much for watching this video. Make sure you subscribe to the channel for more readings and forecasts every single week. Head to the description now for your free numerology reading and to view our latest blogs.